On October 26, 1965, Indianapolis police answered a call saying that a girl had died. It came from a payphone in front of a Shell station in a poor section of the city. The caller was a teenage boy whose voice had not finished changing into that of an adult man. He sounded very nervous and directed the police to the address, 3850 East New York Street, at which they would find the dead female. When the cops got to the dingy, run-down, clapboard home to which the anonymous caller had directed them, they found the emaciated, dead body of 16-year-old Sylvia Marie Likens. She was covered with bruises and small wounds, later revealed to be cigarette and match burns that numbered over 100. There were also large areas of her body where the outer layer of skin had peeled off. Likens also had a big letter 3 branded on her chest. However, the most remarkable injuries, by far, were the words in block letters that had been burned directly on her stomach. "I'm a prostitute and proud of it." Thus ended one of the most horrible crimes ever committed against a single victim. The crime had been perpetrated by an informal group of teenagers and children, some as young as 11 and 12, led by a 37-year-old woman named Gertrude Banashevsky, and the Sylvia and her younger sister Jenny had been boarding with the Banashevsky family so that her parents could travel along the carnival circuit operating a concession stand. Okay, this is the story that opens my book, The Bloodied and the Broken. Okay, and I thought that this was in some ways the saddest case I'd ever dealt with, and that's why I opened the book with this case. I also it also has inspired a lot of other people besides myself. Feminist Kate Millett put on several sculptural exhibitions inspired by the case, and also wrote a book inspired by it and partially based on it called The Basement. There's also another book, a book that was more reportage based on it called The Indiana Torture Slaying, and now called House of and it was recently reissued. There's also a book called The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum that is inspired by the case. Patty Wheat wrote a fictional story called By Sanction of the Victim. And there's also a book called Let's Go Play at the Adams, which is not known for sure that it was inspired by it because the parallels aren't as strong as in the other books, but there are enough parallels that many people believe it was inspired by it. There's also a book called Dear Corinne, Tell Somebody Love Annie that was inspired by it. And a never published play called Hey Rube was inspired by the slaying and has a bizarre coincidence attached to it because the author of the play, Janet McReynolds, is wife of the man who played Santa Claus at the Christmas party of the Ramsey family just a couple of nights before 6-year-old Jean-Benet Ramsey was murdered. And it's believed that, two of the factors that might have played a role in the death were her bedwetting and the early sexualization, making the parallels eerie indeed. And I hope you might want to buy this book, The Bloodied and the Broken by Denise No. And the first chapter is The Torturing to Death of Sylvia Likens.